are my patients, and those of you who are here to get some treatments, it's going to be compounding what I have been already doing for you as far as treatment goes. So keep in mind, we're not going to be doing too aggressive movement, but we're going to take that step at a time. Now, before we talk about some of the stretches, I want to explain to you that there is a very important component of our body. Our body has a structure, and the structure entails skeletal system, such as this, that includes bone and structure from your spine to the bones of your arms to the legs and to ligaments, which connects the bones together, and muscular system, which controls contraction. And all these systems has to work together in synergy in order to have proper health. So if one of them starts to fail, it actually leads to some bigger problems. First of all, our nervous system is these yellow structures that connect to our brain. And these nerves actually control a lot of different parts of your body, including the organs, the thing that we see, hear, smell, touch is controlled by our muscles are controlled by our nerves. So if your nerves are not working well, it affects the muscle in as far as the strength, the elasticity, and tightness. And if the muscular system don't work well, it puts a lot of stress on something called ligaments. So if your muscles are not working well, it puts a lot of strain on the knees because the ligaments are under a lot of stress. And eventually, if the ligament starts to fail, it starts to affect your bones and joints, and that leads to arthritis and degeneration. And that also can cause impingement to the nerve, such as sciatic nerve. So you can see that everything has to work in unity in order for it to function properly. One of the biggest problems that we have in our society is our habit. Okay, for one thing, we all age, and as we age, our body does cause stiffness and deterioration. And secondly, the biggest problem that we have in our society is sitting. We sit way too much. Okay, typically we sit more than 8 hours per day. That creates imbalance of the muscle into our hip flexor. Eventually, as we start to fatigue, our body starts to curve, and causing a lot of stress to the neck and shoulder, and eventually to the disc as well. On top of that, when people are sitting for a long period of time, your body becomes very sedentary. You start to eat the same way, you start to gain a lot of weight. These type of problems puts a lot of stresses on our muscles and our body. And things like falling and trauma and accident can cause the spine to cause twisting and turning effect. So these type of life habits could lead to some problems. So as we start to get older, we start to develop scoliosis. Scoliosis is when the spine starts to curve and bend. That causes, again, asymmetry of the body and imbalance of the muscle. And also that also relates to ligament instability. And we see that quite often in people with lower back problems. So typically they may have pain right around this region because they're sitting way too much and their spine starts to rotate and twist. And that also leads to disc problem. People who have disc herniation, disc degeneration, and if the structure is not working well, they put a lot of stresses on the muscle, which leads to tear, such as rotator cuff tear. So all these problems happens over a period of time, and usually it relates to imbalance of the body. So for instance, neck area, a lot of people carry a lot of tension on the back of the neck, top of the shoulder. They carry a fair amount of tension on the lower back region. They get a lot of tension in the calf. They also have a lot of weakness in their abdominal muscles, and they have a lot of weakness on the hamstring. So these kind of imbalances leads the spine to be, instead of standing straight, to kind of curve forward and hunch over as well. We treat a lot of these people, a lot of the patients at our clinic, because of these chronic imbalances. So it's about flexibility and tension. In one spectrum, a person could be too flexible, which causes instability. And in the other spectrum, a person can be very strong, but they can be very, very stiff. And you see that among a lot of the bodybuilders who have big muscle, but they can't even scratch their head. So that's another problem. So what we need to do is we need to balance the two. We can't be too flexible, and we can't be too tight. What I'm going to go through is, first of all, some of the stretches that we can do first. Now, before we do this type of stretches, these type of stretches, it is important to warm up your body. Okay? And then start stretching, and that could cause a lot of problems. So what I would suggest is, when you're doing these exercises, maybe not the best time to do it would be in the morning, but maybe towards the late morning towards the afternoon or in the evening, okay? But if you are going to do it in the morning, having a quick hot shower to warm up their body would be a good idea. Doing a very light cardiovascular workout such as jump rope, skip rope, or standing position, kind of hit the knees, do a little bit of jumping jack to allow the body to kind of warm up to improve circulation would be a good idea. Now once your body is nice and warm, then we can go ahead and start doing some of the stretches. So first things that we're going to do is we're going to do some neck range of motion. And what I like to do is I like to put my hand off to the side or even grab my waist like so. And the first exercise that we want to do is just a gentle tuck your chin in and look center and then look up. Okay, you don't want to do it too fast, but you want to go bend forward, neutral, look up. Back center, forward, center, and look up. Now once we do that, we go to the left, center, right, center. Left, center, right, center. And I like to kind of typically, then the third movement that we want to do is you want to tuck your chin, left ear to your left shoulder, look up, right ear to right shoulder and down. And the opposite way, and rotate it. Rotate it. Now you're going to hear a little bit of clicking and popping noise, that's okay. And if you have a hard time kind of reaching all the way back, don't force yourself. Just do it nice and slow. And down, nice and slow and down. So, three motion, forward, side, and rotate. And like so, okay? Now once we do that, we want to kind of stretch the shoulders, grab the left elbow, then pull and stretch. And as you do this, you want to pull your elbow in, so you're stretching the back of your shoulder. Same thing other side, and stretch. And what I like to do is, as I do this, I like to exhale. Like I like to go, and then back, and back. Another stretch, arms up, over, hold the elbow, press it down. Back, press it down. Once more. And again. Now finger lace, stretch it forward and up, back, right. Back, left, back, and right. I want to do some dynamic stretches to the shoulder. Now keep in mind, people who have some shoulder issues, just be careful with that. You get your arm up and you just kind of rotate in and then out. In and out. Now some of you may say, well, I can't really do it with my arm because I have a shoulder issue, so you can just rotate your shoulder and outside. Inside and outside. Okay, you want to stretch the chest and the hamstring. Okay, this is one of my favorite stretches I like to do. I like to kind of grab my finger like this and open double shoulder width apart and just kind of lean forward and arms up and stretch. And come back, breathe in, and then lean forward. Come back. One more, lean forward. Do is we can do kind of a similar stretch on your knee using a ball and get my palms up and use the ball to help stretch me out like so. And then back and then stretch out. Back. When you come back, breathe in and then exhale. And back. Now, when I do this, I actually feel quite loose around the neck, shoulder, the chest area. So that's a very good start. Now, a lot of people may have inflexibility. So if you have a rope, in my case I have a belt, or if you have a towel, you can use this. Now typically, I can actually go over here and just kind of grab here and just go by myself. But a lot of people can't do that. So what you can do is you can put around the legs, and I like to kind of lean forward, lie down, and help stretch the hamstring. And then back again, stretch the hamstring. Now your left leg can be slightly bent, or if you're flexible enough, you can straighten it. And you can have a little pillow to support your neck too, and just kind of help it. So stretch like this. Opposite side, same thing. Stretch or slightly bend. Side. And back. So same thing. From here. And back. Okay? Very good stretch. Now, you can use the foam roller to help loosen up IT band. A lot of people have tight IT band on the side of the hamstring. So use a foam roller like this. And I just want to put my right IT band here, my left leg over. Don't put all the weight in, otherwise it's going to be very tender. And I use my hand to help kind of roll back, roll back. It will be tender, but this is a very good way to stretch those IT band. So same thing on the opposite side. From here, over, same thing. And then roll, back, roll, same thing, and roll. Now I can also do a little bit of hamstring roll with this. Same thing, right behind. Kind of help loosen up the hamstring. Okay, same thing, opposite side, and roll it. So what you're essentially doing is stretching all these muscles and massaging it and making it warm. You want these joints to be nice and warm, because now we're going to do a little bit of core stretch the back side. Now we need to start stretching the front. So one of the stretches I like to do is I go on my stomach, palms here, and gently raise it up and back, raise it up, back, and raise it up. Now some of you may have a hard time doing this, so you like this. If you don't have very good balance, make sure you do it against the wall so you have a balance. But from here, you just kind of lie back. Just get your hand out. It helps to stretch all the front corner of your body, your chest. And back. And stretch. So, these are all good stretches that you start before we do any type of core strength, okay? One of the biggest problems that people have is weak paraspinal muscle, which is this junction right here, okay? So when it's weak, people have tight chest, which translates to anterior carriage of the shoulder. Their body starts to do this, okay? And their muscle starts to get tight. So one of the best exercises we need to do is we need to recruit these muscles. And I like using these rubber bands here, okay? These rubber bands can be at a different density. This is kind of light to medium. And I like to kind of put it right against something that I can see, okay? So from here, you can use a doorway, you can use some kind of a wall anchor, you can use a bar if you have it, that's great. And I like to get my palms down, like so. And I want to get my legs shoulder width apart. And from here, I want to be able to kind of bring it in and back. In, back. Okay, breathe in and exhale. In, exhale. In, and exhale. Now, the most important thing is when you do this, I don't want people to hunch their back and use your neck. You want to keep your back straight, and as we do this, you want to get your chest out and out. In, out, in, and out. So what this is doing is it's actually stimulating the muscles here, but it's awakening your posture. Your body's saying, okay, I'm supposed to be standing like this versus like this. Now the next exercise we want to do is some tricep pull downs. Same thing, you can use a rubber like this. You hang it against a top of the doorway or an anchor. Same thing, I just want to grab it here like this. From here, Victor, come over here. I want to bring my hand straight down and back. And again, and then back. And back. So we're working all these muscles here on the back side to allow the postures to be a little bit more upright. Now a lot of people have a tendency to do a lot of bicep curls. And I tell people that's good, except if your bicep is too tight and your tricep is too weak, your body starts to do this again. You want to be able to have strong muscles here, so your shoulder starts to do this. You don't want strong muscle here only where your shoulder starts to curve. Because if you start doing that, your spine and your postures also change. So again, recruiting the muscles of the back, very important. Next one is squats. Now, I see a lot of people thinking you gotta lift a heavy weight to do squats. No, you can actually do squats without any weights. The key thing is keeping your leg wide enough, not flaring enough, and as we go down, our leg doesn't want to deviate to one side. Your knee has to be on top of your foot, and what I would recommend people doing is first do it without any weight, grabbing your hand across your chest like this, and just kind of gently moving down, and then back up. Now, don't just go all the way just here and stop. And when we're doing this, my body is not hunching. I'm keeping my back straight, and I'm just going down and back. Back up. Very easy to do. Now, very important for our posture, our back to be nice and straight. And what you want to do is you want to be able to work the quads, the IT, the hamstring together. So it creates a great core in your leg to support your lower back. Fall. Same motion. I just grab the ball at the top. And I just want to go down and back up. Down and back up. And this is not 15 pounds. Grab it closer to you. Don't grab it out like this. If you do this, you're going to strain your shoulder. Grab it close. So same thing, going down, up, down, up, down, and up. So we need to have strong leg in order to have strong support to the spine. Next exercise involves stimulating core strength in your abdominal to kind of hold it in place like this. And from here, right hand, left leg, hold it. And as we do this, these two areas are pressing against each other, and the opposite hand and leg is raised up. Okay, as I come back, hold the opposite side, back, opposite side, and back. Now this is a very good form of core exercise. It stimulates the abdominal muscle and contralateral chest, and helping it to help stabilization. So if you're able to do this, this is going to be very good for your support of your spine as well. If you're lying down like this, legs up, and just simply bring your pelvis up and just hold it in position. It's like a reverse plank. As we do this, you want to squeeze your glutes and squeeze your hamstring to kind of hold it in place for a few seconds and come down again and bring it up. Tighten it. Down. Up. Now for a little bit of challenge, hold the mat, right leg up. Switch, left leg up. Switch, right leg up. Switch, left leg up. And down. Now, if you can't do this immediately, don't worry about it. The first thing that you want to do is just a simple bridge. Now hold it in position and relax. And even with the leg switch, as we go up, you can come in here and then down, and take a break. And then come back again, up, a few seconds, and take a break. So you don't need to do it continuously. Next one, we want to work on plank kind of exercise. You see this often in TV and fitness studio and stuff, but this is pretty important. And you notice that when I'm doing these exercises, I do it on a mat. Don't do it on a hard surface. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to be on our knee, and I want my hand, your forearm and your wrist, like so. Now at first, if you have a hard time, you can just do it on your knees, just kind of hold it in position. And as you get better at it, you go on your toes. Okay, and you hold it for a few seconds. And as you go down, you can go on your knees and go down in your stomach. So come up again, support, and hold. Now, some people say, well, this is very easy. So some people like to kind of get your legs apart a little bit. Get your right leg up, down, left leg up, and down. These are great core exercise. Now you can also do the plank using a ball. Same motion. I put my arm here. So same thing, hold it in position. Now because the ball has a lot of instability, this allows a little bit more challenge, but this gives good exercise for good core. And then on your knee again, and relax again. And then again. And back. Now, if you want a little bit more challenge, go on the ball. Same thing. The ball creates instability, so that allows support. You hold it in position like this. Now, I recommend people doing it step by step. Don't do the foot and the ball right away. Build it up from the floor, then into your forearm to the ball, then the foot on the ball. Okay? Now, if a person has spinal pain and they actually have injury, doing core exercises like this can cause problem. Okay? If the person has really stiff body and they don't have the flexibility, it can also cause problem too. So what I'm trying to say is you need your joints and flexibility to work first. Once that's working well, then you can do the core exercise to help compound the benefit. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. And that's one of the reasons why I invite my patients who are getting treatment to do this with us, rather than have anyone just do it. Okay? This is a very simple example that I see. When we're younger, for the most part, we don't have any pain. And I see a lot of young people, they don't have pain, they're feeling great. It's not until they turn into about 30s to mid-30s, they start to develop problems and pain and symptom. If we take care of ourselves when we're younger and healthy and we don't have pain, and we do all the natural things that's necessary, such as taking care of your back, stretching, developing core strength, as we age, I guarantee it, you're gonna age well. And you're gonna be very functional, and even at your old age, you're gonna be able to do a lot of great sports and have active lifestyle. It's when people don't take care of their body because they take their health for granted, and as they age, they start to have a lot of illness and deterioration. That is the reason why I am a doctor of chiropractic. That is the reason why I'm here to educate you guys to learn proactive approach. And that is the reason why I actually practice what I preach. I'm a martial artist for over 44 years. I still train regularly. I teach my children and students to live this lifestyle. So today's workshop is to benefit you, of course, but hopefully you guys can learn to pass it forward and help others as well. Problem? If you have this problem, you have sciatica, don't do core exercise right away because you're jumping right into conditioning without structural balance. Fix your structure, then exercise, then once you exercise, then improve your skills by learning more techniques, okay? So most of you are at the level of conditioning and exercise right now. Some of you who come into my door, into my clinic who has pain, they can't train. So the key thing is please don't think exercise is the answer for everything. I do think exercise is important, but you gotta ensure that your body is ready to perform.